Hello, you're with Libby from libbystamps.com, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia, and today I'm bringing you a card that has a stamped edge on it, and it's like a gatefold card. And what I've done here is just tied some of that beautiful new Night of Navy crinkle ribbon and put some of the gold sequin trim into it, and when you slide it off you can see that the edge there is cut, and it's like a gatefold card, and when you open it up I've got some more stamping and a sentiment inside. So today we're going to use one of the new in colours, Berry Burst, and it marries nicely with the Fresh Florals DSP, which is similar to the Floral Phrases or whatever the DSP was we had last year, but it's in all the in colours, and this is the Berry Burst, and it's just lovely, and it shows you how the stamp has got some water wash areas on it, and that's how our stamping's going to end up, and we're using Floral Phrases today. So what we need is 2 pieces of cardstock, and I'm using Whisper White, and we need 2 pieces which are 10.5 centimetres by 19 centimetres roughly, or 7.5 inches by 4.25 inches. So I'll just get my ruler out, and I've just cut it to 10.5 or 4.25, and I'm just going to cut it to 19 or 7.5. So that's one piece. And our second piece, 19 or 7.5 inches, and we're going to score them both at 2 inches. So I'm just going to use the scoring blade on my trimmer here at 2 inches or 5 centimetres. One. 2, and that's all we need our Stampin' Trimmer for. Now, just a tip, that when you're scoring you actually have like a little indent where the scoring blade goes through, so fold that in the opposite direction for a nice sharp score, and then burnish it with your bone folder. So where the indent is, fold in the opposite direction and burnish with your bone folder. Now, when we put this card together, it's going to go like this with the flap on the back, and when you look at the card it doesn't really detract from the card having the flap on the back. So what I've done is I've laid up my stamps already on the acrylic blocks that we need. We're going to use Berry Burst, as I said. So we'll bring in our Berry Burst. And for this one, we're going to stamp along this edge, so the score line's here. So we're going to stamp our floral image along the edge like that. No, the other way around. So my Berry Burst is very juicy. Alright, and I'm just going to eyeball it. Might just have to turn it round. Alright, I'm just going to eyeball it to about halfway. So just try and get it about even. Doesn't have to be exact. Good press down. Alright, Now I've already used my Stampin' Magic to place the image on here, and I haven't moved the image off my block. So what I want to do now is come in and stamp either side of this image. So I put my piece of plastic right next to the image where I want it, and then I place my Stampin' Magic. Whoops. Better even that up again. Alright, place my plastic right where I want it, and then place my Stampin' Magic down. And I haven't moved the image off my block since I originally stamped. And I'm going to bring it down and stamp again. Alright, and then we're going to do the same on the other side.
Hey, if you want to play, make it about a place. It'll take creation, imagination. Try to draw outside the line.
Alright, and there we have our images. Now, what I did on this blue one was I also put it in the centre, but we'll do that a little bit later. And then you just fussy cut the edge. So I'm just going to do that, and I'll get the video to fast forward through it.
Inside your mind, you'll find inspiration. All I'm saying is you can do it. I want to hear you say, I am independent. I am dedicated. Doing it my way, doing it my way. Yes, I am. I am in control. I am. Watch me go. Doing it my way, doing it my way. Can you hear me say, yes, I am. Lead, inspire destiny. Require every dream to believe. Take the chance, lead the dance, and run with what is in your...
Alright, so that's all our fussy cutting done. And you can see that's the beginning of our card. And the rest of our card is going to come along this way. So I'm just going to stamp the border image on this part of our card. Ink it up nicely, and then you have to eyeball it a bit with this stamp set. I hope you can't see my head in the video. It's a bit hard to do it on the video because you can't see. So that's the beginnings of our card, and then I put these two bits together. So they just marry together like that. Alright, so I just use liquid adhesive.
Let the magic start. You're in charge. Yes, you can. What's the plan? Come on, let's do this.
So there's the beginning of our card. So we've got that much done. Now I also stamped this border piece up here, so we'll just do that.
I wanna hear you shout. I am independent. I am.
Alright, so that's all we need the border stamp for. And I'm just going to put the sentiment piece on my block, and the sentiment says a special note of thanks to you. So I'm just going to put that on my block, ink it up, and it's going to go in the middle down here like this. Alright, now I had thought I could put a piece of this along here. So I need a piece which measures about 6.5 by whatever width you want, or 14 centimetres. We'll just trim up a piece. Five and a half inches by 3/4 of an inch, or 2 centimetres by 14 centimetres, and we're just going to glue that on like that. So out with the liquid adhesive, just adds a little bit of interest to the inside of the card. And then I'll show you another trick in a minute. Alright, so that's the inside of our card done. Now on the outside, on the other one, I've stamped in the middle, going either way. So we're going to do that again. And I'm going to bring in my image sheet again. I can see where I've put it. There it is. And I want to marry the two floral images up. Alright, so I want it to go there. Now I'm going to keep hold of my image sheet and carefully open out that floral bit. I just need to straighten this up a little bit. It's probably right. Bring in my Stamp-A-Majig. Remove the image sheet. Ink up my stamp. And stamp down. So that's that bit done, and now we're going to put our ribbon on, and I'll show you a trick with the ribbon. I've cut about 24 inches worth of ribbon, which is probably more than enough. And you just bring it in, and you're going to tie it at one end, tie a knot at one end. And you need your glue dots ready, and you need your sequin trim ready. So sequin trim and glue dots, and your paper piercing tool. So we're going to even the ribbon up as much as we can, and we're going to tie the first part of a knot. Alright, then just hold it there with your finger. Bring in your glue dots. Now this is a good little trick with your glue dots and your paper piercing tool. You can actually put your paper piercing tool onto your glue dot and then swirl it round till you get a smaller dot. So I've got that there on my paper piercing tool, and I bring it in and just put it in the middle of my knot, and hope I can get it off. There we go. So there's my glue dot, and then I place my sequin, the mini sequin trim, over it and press down, and there it just stays. So ready for you to tie your bow over the top. So a loop round the back and in through the loop. Right, and then you just need to neaten that up. Even that up if you want to. You can bring it round under your loop There we go, that might look better. And just trim that up. I always like to have one end longer on my sequin trim than the other. And there we have our finished card, which is like a gatefold card. So we have two of them now, one in Night of Navy and one in Berry Burst. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. Bye for now.